Grace Rackow, and the title of her speech is
My Life in Sevens.
My Life in Sevens.
Thank you, Frank. The Jesuits have a motto. They say, give me a child until the age of 7, I will give you the man. Now, I hope this adage also works for women, because I got to thinking about what was I like at 7 and how did that reflect on the rest of my life. When I was 7, the thing that I remember the most was our dog. We lived on a farm in Nebraska, and our English Shepherd, Cookie, was one of the best dogs that anyone could ever imagine. It was a great starter dog for a kid, and she really was my best friend because there weren't any other kids around. At that very same age, I was interested in reading. In fact, I was crazy about reading. I read everything in all the library, the school library, the public library, all the books that we had in our home, and anything I could get my hands on, I read. The idea that you could open a book and there would be the world was so fabulous. And by the time I was 14, after all of that reading, I knew everything. My parents knew nothing. By then we had a different dog. His name was Louie, a Cocker Spaniel mix. Also a very excellent dog, because when a girl is 14, she needs someone to tell all her problems to. They just don't understand me. I loved school, though. This is, I think, unusual for a 14-year-old girl. I loved school. I loved studying. I was eager to get to school every day. And I managed to get all the way to the University of Nebraska. And by the time I was 21, I was living with my brother. We shared an apartment because both of us were students at the University of Nebraska. We had 2 dogs, Belle, a Brittany Spaniel, and Ruth, who was a shepherdy kind of mix, a little black dog with a white face, lovely little dog. Both of these dogs were great company for someone who had this great aspiration to be an artist. I wanted to grow up to be just like Sherry Campbell. I wanted to earn my living doing art. I took art classes. I went to the art museums. I went to every art opening. Art, art, art. Oh, I loved the nude drawing classes. Oh, fabulous. And by the time I was 28, I had moved to California. I had learned that it's not easy to earn your living as an artist. In fact, it's impossible. I was doing odd jobs. My life was going nowhere. It was a mess. I went to a garage sale with my Irish setter, Sundance. Actually, he belonged to my roommate, but we were good buddies too. And there we met a woman. And this woman said, "Oh, you're 28. And she said, "I know that people when they're 28 decide who they are and where they are going." This was good. I decided the first place I'm going is to my 10-year high school reunion. And there I discovered that all of those fellow classmates from high school had aged. And I had not. And somehow that inspired me. I was so excited to see that I was still that youthful, excited, wonderful person that I had been. And I went back to Santa Barbara, and I must have had a glow about me, because shortly thereafter, I met the man that I would marry. And by the time I was 35, I was in fact married. We bought a home, and we had 3 dogs. 2 dachshunds, Rocky and R2, and a Cocker Spaniel named Joe. Joe Cocker. Okay. We were running a small business. It was very successful. We were making, by successful I mean we were making a good, very good living. And I wasn't doing what I had dreamed of doing. and it certainly was not artistic in any way, but I felt good about it because I felt successful. It was fantastic to be running a business and making things happen. By the time I was 42, that business had gone by the wayside. Well, there was a merger, one company sold this company, a few things happened, and all of a sudden our business model didn't work anymore. My husband got a really good job offer, and he went off to earn a living for both of us. And this was my opportunity to figure out who I really was and where I was going. I decided to take adult ed courses. The ones that most interested me were writing. And sure enough, there I was writing. And not only was I writing, we had Jack Russell Terriers. We had finally decided on the most exciting breed in the world, and we had Willie and Pete, and they kept us going, and I was writing, and so by the time I was 49, I had a column, I was a publisher, I was doing editing for hire for other people, doing all kinds of things around writing. And this was kind of wonderful because it had put together not only my initial love of books when I was 7, but also that artistic aspect that I was so interested in when I was 21. It wasn't painting or drawing, but there was still art to writing and paint pictures with words. By the time I was 56, I had been sitting too long at the computer writing, and I had put on quite a bit of weight. I figured I needed to lose about 80 pounds. And even the 4 Jack Russell Terriers we had then, we added Sophie and Dixie, even 4 Jack Russell Terriers didn't keep me active enough. And so I hired a personal trainer. I didn't lose 80 pounds, but I lost 20 pounds, and I kept it off. Thank you very much. And life was pretty good. I think now I was 56. And all of a sudden, it seemed that there was like this vast plateau. We now had 5 Jack Russell Terriers. Maurice came on board. Vast plateau. The 50s are really a very strange place to be. But now that I'm 63, this is my place. The first thing I have to do is take a page from Lynn Cedarquist. Get out of the age cage. I have to tell myself I am not too old to do the things I've always dreamed of doing, or might yet dream of doing. Age is just an illusion. Joseph Campbell once said, "The great privilege of life is to be who you are." And that's what I intend to do the next 7 years. And I'm going to lose those 60 more pounds. Mr. Toastmaster.